Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing today? So Netflix just put out this French film called I Am Not an Easy Man, and I would hazard to say that it's a rom-com. However, it's a bit of a genre bender in a sense, because it's really creative, it's goofy, and it's weird. And you know what? It was kind of impressive. And if I sound weird, I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little loopy. I stayed up all night. But anyway, the overall plot of the movie is it's about a guy who's kind of a womanizer. He's a bit of a chauvinist. He's not an overall piece of shit, but I mean, like, he goes through women pretty easily. However, at a certain point, he hits his head on a pole, and then he wakes up a bit later, and all of the shit in his house is pink, and slowly he begins to realize he is in a completely different reality where men and women have switched social gender roles. However, biologically, they're still the same, and then it just turns into a giant freak fest. And I say it's a rom-com because he's got a particular woman in mind, they meet in the inverse reality, and then blah, 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 blah. And obviously, we've seen gender swap movies before. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're a little more serious. This one leans more towards the funny side, obviously. But the thing about the movie is that the gender roles being switched, it's like stereotypical kind of shit. Like all the men are supposed to be like waxed and coiffed perfectly in public, and they're kind of objectified. Meanwhile, the women are kind of like the bosses. They also hold the doors open for the men, and they're kind of like, they get into bar fights and stuff. So it took social norms to kind of an extreme when it did the swap, but I thought it was really entertaining. Because women are like really gung-ho, but they also still are responsible for childbirth, so whenever they do it standing up like, I'm a badass, and you're just like, what? So the whole concept was just brilliant, and it was a big mindfuck, and it was really interesting to see. My only problems with the movie is that it's pretty predictable overall, and as far as the skill of artistic filmmaking, it wasn't doing anything crazy. Like, there's no, 10-minute tracking shots going through like a long hallway or something like that. The way it's directed, it's like a very basic rom-com, but just the concept and the way it's implemented into the story is just fucking bonkers. And in that respect, the movie was a little bit full of itself because it was really just trying to suck you into this like ridiculous, weird, bizarro universe. But it was a great backdrop and like examining the main character's arc. So overall, it's just a brilliant idea and I quite enjoyed it. And really, I want to tell you guys more, but there's really not much more to tell. It's just one of those things that you kind of got to just dive into and just kind of experience for yourself. And it's not a super long movie and there's not a whole lot of fluff parts in it. And the amount of different scenarios and dynamics that it like examines within this story is really awesome when you see it in this inverse type of world. And it's funny, like the movie has a lot of like slapsticky kind of stuff, and sometimes it's just in-your-face stuff that you don't see coming, like women just going for jogs with their shirts off. Like the movie treats it so casually and it doesn't make a big deal out of it, but it also is making a big deal out of it by making an entire film about it. So it's really, I don't know, man, it's a really interesting movie. And I also loved the way the movie ended. It might piss a few people off, but I personally enjoyed it. So overall, for a score, I'm gonna give this movie an 8.7 out of 10. Highly enjoyed it. The subtitles are a little bit annoying, but there is an English dub, but I personally don't prefer to watch movies like that. And it's a good movie about somebody stepping into another person's shoes, kinda, and you might learn something about yourself. Who knows? Give it a watch. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Have you heard of this movie? Have you seen it? Hop in the comments. Let me know what's up. Other than that, if you like this review, give me a like, subscribe to all that other bullshit, and I will catch you guys later.